Hey folks, I just wanted to come by and do a little tutorial on faux locks, faux goddess locks, whatever we want to call them. So actually I'm going to go ahead and start from the very beginning. Alright, so I've already sectioned off this back part of my mannequin's head. So I'm going to do a faux lock right here, so you can get an idea of what I'm doing. And hopefully you can see it well. Okay. Alright. So you have this hair. You have your comb. Comb through it. And my section is not that big. Like, it's not really a big section of hair. Okay? So you take that section, get any flyaways or whatever, and most of the time this is going to be on African American hair. As we all know, mannequin heads, well at least mine, does not mimic African American hair. So I'll be having to spray her hair up so it can stay out of my way. So I'm going to do that. Alright, so just imagine this is your client with traditionally textured African American hair. I personally will either take some edge control like this by Eco Style. This is Eco Style Play and Stay Edge Control, or some Shine and Jam conditioning gel. So I think I'm going to do this because this is a little bit sturdier. So I personally, just to give that sleek look, you know, that's probably too much. You normally take the edge control and I put it around the roots, top, left side, right side, bottom. And then I just kind of smooth it in. And that's just to make sure, you know, it looks neat. So you go ahead and you braid. I braid a traditional braid, and I try to get it as tight to the scalp as possible and that is comfortable for the client. And it doesn't have to be super tight, you know. So I just basically just braid down. To the very end. Now, if this was a goddess lock versus a faux lock, you would have added in some braiding hair that was kind of curly on the end. Like an example, but this isn't braiding hair, this is just hair. Like you would have added in a piece of this. So at the end of the braid, some of this hair would have been hanging out. That would have been the traditional goddess lock. Well, the goddess lock. So I normally seal the end of the hair with a little bit of edge control. Make sure y'all can see. You don't have to see me. But I have my lock, my faux lock, and it looks like this on the end. There's a circle, and that's for the crochet hook, right? And as you, mine are kind of long. So I take my crochet needle, I take it while it's open like that, and hopefully it's not too tight. And I push it through. Like that. Just pushed it through. Okay? So then I get my lock, I hook it on the hook, I close the hook, and I bring it back through that opening, and then I open it back up, and I get the end of my lock, I close the hook again, and I come back through that circle, that beginning opening. So basically just tie the knot with a crochet needle. And I pull my goddess lock through. And I make sure it's kind of snug. Make sure it's snug. So then you have your braid, and then you have your lock. I start twisting at the root as close to the knot as possible. I start twisting the goddess lock around. Some people will go up through the up through the faux lock because it's hollow with their crochet needle and just pull the braid down. I mean, that's an option. But I particularly like this way. Just me. So I'll go all the way to the end. Go all the way to the end, wrapping the lock around until none of your hair is being seen anymore. And then I just gently tug on the lock to kind of straighten it out. And then I have my lock. See? Alright, so that's how it looks at the root. So I'm going to do one more for you. I want you to get a good view. Get all this hair up out of here. Alright. So we parted off. Nice good section. Doesn't have to be too big, but you do want it bigger than the lock because you don't want to spend all day. Because if you make small, a couple different things gonna happen. If you make small sections, you're gonna use a lot of locks. And to me, all that hair in your head is not gonna look right. It's too much. Like, it's way too much. And don't get it wet or, you know, put it in a ponytail and all that other stuff. It's going to be too much. Like, my clients, I normally use about 3 packs of locks. So, one lady I knew, she said she used 7. And it looked like it, too. But anyway, so, I pull out my section. I take my edge control. And I put it there on the roots. And then I braid. Nice tight braid at the root. And make sure it's a medium sized braid. Like, you don't want small braids. Because a small braid means that you have a small section of hair. So I'm just braiding at this point. If you hear some weird noise in the back, that's just my dog. Alright, so when you get to the end, I go to the end, but I mean, you don't have to. I just seal it with some edge control or whatever. So, I get my lock again. I get another lock. Has the hole at the end. I take my crochet needle. I open it up. I stick it through. Like such. I take my hole on on the lock. I close the crochet needle. I pull the lock through. I flip the lock back open again. I flip the needle back open again. Then I close it. Oh, uh-oh. Hold on. Then I close it. Hold on, y'all. Make sure it's through my hole. That doesn't sound right. Anyway, put it through the, yeah. All right, and then close that. And you pull it through. So again, and you pull it tight and sturdy, like such. So you have the braid and you have the lock, right? So make sure your braid is positioned well. And then I just begin to wrap the lock around the braid. And I wrap it pretty tight towards the root of the head. Of the hair. And I take it down. And I wrap and wrap and wrap. Now clearly this is going to take longer on people who have longer hair. This mannequin has about like 12-inch hair. And the young lady who I did yesterday, she had probably about that length of hair. And it took about 4 hours. And then when it's on there, I kind of pull it a little bit. Alright. So then you have 2 locks. Uh-oh. Sorry. So then you have 2 locks. And that's what they look like. Let me back up so you can see. And you would do that over the entire head, and then you would have a style similar to this.